One late afternoon, a couple was sitting on a bench in the courtyard of a house. The girl wanted to tell the guy a story, but didn't know if the guy would want to marry her after that. "What are you afraid of?" the guy asked the girl, and swore to the girl that he would never change his mind about his decision. The girl replied that the streets might have changed, but the park was still the same as it had been when she was a child. The boy was alarmed and reminded the girl that she had never wanted to go near the playground, and now she was here. He also said that this place was full of memories from his childhood. But today the girl is acting very strange. The girl reluctantly replied that this place for her had always been a symbol of her dark past. The guy was surprised and asked, "Dark past?" She replied that she even wished it had been destroyed. She had always wanted this place to change. As it turns out, the girl actually remembers very little about the guy. She remembers being a rude child. The boy interrupted the girl and said that he hoped their shared past was not a bleak one for the girl. A girl's conscience won't let her marry a guy unless she tells him everything. She decides that she will tell the truth, and if the guy wants to change his mind, he should tell her. A girl dares to tell about her past. Even though she doesn't remember how old she was, she remembers that the guy always played on that court. Every day she came to the playground to play with one boy, Yutaro. That boy was her boyfriend. The kid really liked to ride on the swing and then jump off of it. Yutaro was so cool, he had his childhood records one by one. Was the best among his friends. His friends noticed that the girl was always watching him and laughed at her. They joked and mocked the girl with funny and hurtful phrases. The boy's friends chased the girl home, but he stood up for her and ordered his friends to shut their mouths. Laughing now and with the boy, they offered him to play with her. At that moment, a little boy came to the playground with his mother and saw how the girl was angry. Mom and boy came up to the girl and asked if she was playing alone. The boy's mother took a chocolate bar out of her purse and gave it to the girls, leaving her little son with her. After telling her that she would be back before dark, the mother thankfully began to leave the playground. When she realized that the boy's mother had paid the girl with chocolate to play with her son, the girl laughed. The boy's friends noticed this and started shouting for the girl to share the chocolate. The girl asked the boy what his name was, to which he replied that his name was Now. Without thinking, the girl offered to play with him. The bullying boys continued to verbally abuse the girl and her baby. But the girl tried to ignore them. She realized that the little guy had become attached to her, so she decided to ask him if he wanted to go for a ride on the swing next to Yutaro. He was having a lot of fun. The girl looked intently at the swing with the boy in it. A few days later, the situation repeated itself, and then the baby came to Kurika on his own. He asked to play with the girl. But the girl answered that she really could not play, pointing out that she had her own things to do. The boy took the girl by the hand and started pulling her to the swings, asking her to play with him, but Kuriko turned him down and went home. The mother was very happy to see the girl at home and suggested she go into the kitchen. In the kitchen, the girl was in for a surprise, and her mother brought cakes. The girl was surprised, but continued to think about her own thoughts. The mother began to praise the girl for playing with the baby, but the girl was upset and saw nothing positive in it. As time went on, the baby got boring, and she began to hate the way he was sticking to her. 27 She was very tired of having to cuddle with baby Now every time she came to the playground to see Yutaro. The little boy got so fed up with the girl that she told him to tell her secret and said she could do it if the boy would put his ear close to her. The boy was frightened by this situation when suddenly the girl yelled loudly in his ear. The baby was very frightened, and something was buzzing in his head. The girl told him he was in big trouble. She said the boy now has buzzing bugs, really scary ones. They would crawl into his ear and then devour his brain. She screamed that these bugs are everywhere. The boy was deeply afraid, and the girl grabbed his ears and began to pull. The boy tried to hold back his tears. After the situation, the boy kept coming anyway. One day he asked the girl if she would hurt him again, or if they could play like before. Since then, the girl began to bully the boy, so she thought that the boy would leave her alone. One hot day, the girl went to drink water. The boy also followed her. He asked Kuriko to give him a drink, too. The girl pretended not to hear him and said that she had to go further. The water was better there. The boy said he didn't want to go anywhere and was very thirsty, but the girl continued to ignore him and laugh. She led the baby to the local drainage ditch. She shouted at him to drink that water. The boy leaned in, but Kuriko forcefully sent his face toward the water. With all her might, the girl drenched the little girl's face right in the gutter. Kuriko felt a rush of anger. After that, the boy started crying, and Kuriko started to run away from the place where it was all happening. All that Kuriko did in front of the boy, nothing stopped him from coming to her again, and she never stopped mocking him. The girl pondered what she might have been like when they met to begin with. The girl became angry again and suggested that the little boy play stick fencing. She threatened the little boy that he would be dead and started beating him with sticks with all her might. In the middle of a white day, a girl with a strong swing of a stick mocked a boy. One day a little boy cried and climbed up a high slide. Afterwards he yelled that he would jump off it. The girl became angry and yelled for him to jump so he could be a big boy. At this point, the girl started screaming that the little boy's mother should stop him. She informed the mother that the boy was acting very strangely. He insists on jumping off the big slide. The mother came running very quickly and was worried about her little boy. She asked now what was wrong. Mom rescued a little boy from a huge slide and gave the girl a chocolate bar. The girl was not very happy with the situation, and the chocolate all the more so. The next day, anger came back into the girl. She went up to the little boy and threatened him. "I was very angry when I saw your mother yesterday," she said. The girl found out in an angry voice if the boy had said anything to his mother about their conversations with him. The next day the boy did not come to play with the girl, so she decided to call him for a walk herself. The girl took the little boy by the ear and started to run. He was in a lot of pain, but she just ignored it. She had to check on the little boy. When the girl brought the boy to the place, she pointed her finger at him and told him that this was the court of justice. Kuriko led the boy to the angry dog who was already growling in his kennel. Little by little the girl began to tease the dog. The dog was already very angry, and the little boy informed the girl that he was scared. But Kuriko made the boy bring the ball, which was lying right at the paws of the angry, hungry dog. The boy was scared and hugged the girl to calm down, but the girl got angry again. She pushed the boy away and shoved him to the dog, telling him to do it. That was the end of the girl's story to the boy. She said she ran all the way home, and after a while the family and the little boy moved in. The boy said he thought the boy was very badly hurt. Upset with memories, the girl explained to the guy why she was so upset. She told the boy that she had really been a horrible child. After a while the girl confessed that this was only the beginning, and after a while she met Now again. Still she decided to tell the boy the rest. He interrupted her to ask if she really thought that her childish pranks would change his decision to marry her. He also said that if she thinks that he will change his mind, she is deeply mistaken, because it was all in childhood. The boy grew up a little, and when he met the girl, he introduced himself that his name was Now. The girl was surprised to see him. He asked if she was really Kuriko. 55. The girl continued to stare at him with astonished eyes. She couldn't believe he was standing in front of her. She was surprised that the boy talked to her like an old friend and even offered to take her out for tea. After all she had done with him, she was surprised by this turn of events. Together they went to a cafe for tea. The boy said that Kuriko had changed a lot. He also said that she had always been a very pretty girl. Kuriko said that Now had changed too. He was now a serious man in a suit and tie. Now confesses that he never thought he would meet Kuriko, but that his work brought him back to the city. At one point the boy asked if the same playground from his childhood existed. The girl became very concerned. Now kept talking and talking. He felt they had so much to discuss and remember. The boy also wanted to go to the playground someday. A frightened Kurik said that the playground hadn't changed at all and didn't very readily agree to his suggestion. Outside, the boy was enjoying the views of his homeland and said he was very glad to be back. The girl was flying in her thoughts. She couldn't understand if Now remembered. Looking up at the familiar road from home, Now reported that he remembers Kuriko once pulling him by the ear along this very road. The girl was embarrassed and told Now that she didn't mean to hurt him and apologized to him. The boy smiled and said he was glad to hear that. Now also said that she was the only one who played with him and that he was in love with her. The girl was surprised and looked at Now. He reported that after all the years, he never stopped thinking about Kuriko. That's why he recognized her so easily on the street when he saw her a few years later. Now decided to ask about the girl's love, and he asked her if she had seen him since then. The girl replied that she had seen him more than once. At that moment, she was freed from the guilt that haunted her for years. In a moment, the girl stood up and started looking out for someone. The boy noticed this and asked what was wrong. The girl said that she had to meet the guy and that he could come at any time. That guy was already sitting on the bench waiting for Kuriko. The girl told him that she was in love with Now. The guy was puzzled. A month later, Kuriko and Now got married, and it was just the two of them. After that, Yutaro disappeared from his life. She and Now had a son. The girl thought their happiness would last forever. The beautiful son was named Hiroshi. After Hiroshi was born, Now disappeared. He went to work and never came back. The girl went to the police, but the search yielded no results. The girl lived a very strange life and was always worried, but her family reassured her and said that there were many single mothers in the world. Time went on and 4 whole years passed. Kuriko was cooking dinner, and her son came up to her and asked if dinner was ready. The girl replied that he had to wait a little longer, after which the boy began to shout loudly that he wanted to eat. The girl asked her son to behave himself and not to scream. But after hugging his mother's leg, he kept screaming that he wanted to eat. It lasted more than 20 minutes, and the girl was losing her mind. She asked her son to shut up because she was tired and having a hard time. She reminded him that she works every day. The girl finished cooking dinner and set the table with the food. The boy sat down at the table and started complaining that he didn't want the fish she made, but wanted an omelet. Kuriko told him to stop being mean and accidentally called him Now. And the boy begins to ask her who Now is. The girl was looking at her son and the video was of Now. She said he looked a lot like his date when he was 4 years old. The boy watched intently as his mother looked at him. A memory came back to the girl, and she began to tell her son how she used to make fun of little Now. She told him how cute he was when she abused him. Even after that, he still kept up with the girl. The girl was flying in her thoughts. For some reason, she began to feel like she was mocking him again. She became very curious about what Now was doing now. The baby said maybe he wanted mommy to bully him, and for some reason mommy couldn't resist. The girl went crazy. She thought her son was Now. She took her son by the ear and started pulling him around the apartment. The boy screamed for his mommy not to pull his ear. Kuriko began to gather and paint her lips in front of the mirror. She was beginning to understand something. In a moment, the girl thought Now wasn't going anywhere. He wanted revenge from the beginning. "Oh, now you've never fallen off a cliff," the girl thought angrily. The son kept crying and saying he wasn't Now. The girl yelled at him, "The boy shouldn't act like that, he shouldn't cry." She called her son a nasty little boy. She thought all he wanted was to get in her way. "Fine, then let's go play on the playground," she said. "That's even better," Kuriko said. But the son wiped his eyes with tears and told his mother that it was nighttime. Angry, frantic Kuriko stared at her son, smiling hysterically. The boy asked, "You're not going to pull my ears, are you?" Kuriko replied that she would do nothing more, nothing at all, and began to laugh out loud.